Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. Okay, so Android 14, that's where we're up to. You wouldn't believe it, but I've actually been using Android 7 up until this point, 2024, and even my Android phone still works. And the phone that I've been using is, which one? This one. This one here. So you can see this is a Samsung Galaxy S7 Active. They're rock solid. I've even dropped one into the lake one time. I was able to fish it out. It still worked. It was rock solid. The platform's extremely old and clunky, but it did what we wanted it to do. And one of the biggest things we wanted to do was call recorder. So well, basically what happened after 7 and 8, they started stopping you from recording the calls. Google and Google Play didn't want you to record the calls. So it changed everything, meaning that I had to stick with this old, clunky Android 7 platform, which is 10 years old, which I did up until now, because now Telstra is actually swapping over a few of their bands, which means that we're starting to lose calls, drop calls, or not be able to make calls using this 4G technology. So we got to go up to 5G. The best phone I could find was the Samsung Galaxy X-Cover 6 Pro, and it's got some of the same similar features where it's a little bit more rugged. It's got some sort of waterproof, when you've got sweat and water on your hands or grease. So it seemed a lot more functionable. Some of the benefits of this one here is it's got a removable battery, it's got a 4K camera, it's got all the new bells and whistles. So it ticked the box for as far as what we need as a work phone as a tradie. But now comes the problem. We need call recorder to work. And one of the biggest problems is there's all these call recorders out there for different Android versions. A lot of them work, a lot of them are missing functions or don't do what they're meant to do. Like they're saying these are the best call recorders for 2024 Android. And I have to say, I've tried just about all of them, and all of them don't do the job. My Spy, too complicated. I didn't try that one. And yeah, basically there's either functionality problems, no caller ID, bad quality of the microphone, not being able to use it on hands-free, not being able to use it on the car kit. So it always had some problem. All of these ones here had some problem. Some they want you to install a separate dialer. Some they want you to go through a VoIP or a cloud phone system. And it's really getting confusing when you want to just have a phone that works just the same as it always did. Now, with Android 7, we could simply use one of these apps and it works seamlessly. Like this one here, we've used that one before. And what happens is that as soon as the call's made, it just records. Then it's kept on the phone, and then it's stored onto the Dropbox so that anyone in the office can activate it. So what would happen is somebody, let's say on the after hours, would receive a call, and then they tell the office would say, oh, hang on, I'd like to follow that up, or I'd like to talk to that person, and then they could just go to the Dropbox, pull that call out, hear what the customer was after, and follow it up on Monday. So it's been a really good, almost like an answering machine recorded message that we could track back and trace with the phone number and deal with it at a later stage. And that's one of the most important things with the phone number. If you don't have the phone number, yeah, it's still practical, but it's not as practical. A lot of these call recorders, they don't record with the phone number. So you've got a whole list of calls from an anonymous caller. It's hard to work out who was the one that called you and this and that. You've literally got to time stamp it all. So all of these ones I've tried, and they don't work on Android 14. Couldn't get anything to work. So that's why I'm going to go through and show you what I did to actually get it to work on this device here. And this device is not cheap. It's coming in about 800 bucks. Not cheap at all as compared with these ones we're picking them up for 100 bucks, 100 US. These were all branded AT&T, and they never came out in Australia. They did work because we had the bands, but now they're moving over to 5G. We're losing a couple of the bands, so it's like only one or two of the bands work, and that's where the call issues are now developing from. So a lot of these apps here, like this one here, it's actually got a subscription, and I really wasn't happy paying the subscription monthly, yearly, and all that sort of stuff for functionality that really just should be in the phone. I mean, it's a smartphone. It should be capable of this very basic function, and it's only because Google and all the rest have stitched it up that they don't want you doing that for some privacy laws or something like that. With us, all of our recordings are deleted at the end of the week or the end of the month anyway, and it's only really just for reference so that we could track back and find out exactly what that address was. Was it a G, a B, or a C, or an E, or that they said when they're spelling out the street names and things like that. By having it recorded, it allows you to do other things like concentrate on your driving. So if you're taking a phone call, booking in a job, and you're driving through traffic or on a highway, it's more important to be focused on the actual driving than it is pulling out a pen and paper and scribbling a note down on the steering wheel, which is what we used to have to do in the 2000s. You'd be driving along, you pull out a piece of paper, still driving a manual car, going through traffic, peak hour traffic, and you'd be scribbling it down on a piece of paper, trying to get their address right so that you could turn up there within the hour or within half an hour. Now with this call recording software, it's a no-brainer. It has to work. it has to work on our phones. If it's not working, then it's a lot harder to have a pen and paper and pull it out when you're on the top of a ladder driving or at any time. A lot of other industries people are in the same field, you know. Sometimes it's I've spoken to a solicitor, they said they record their calls. I've spoken to a lot of other tradies and real estates, and they say they do as well. But because now we need to move to an upgraded phone, it hasn't been possible. But the good news is I found a workaround. So this program here didn't work for me, not at all. Yeah, one of the biggest problems was, here's what it actually looks like. You normally have people in your phone book will show up, and everybody else shows up as unknown. So that's not the worst thing about it, but can be a bit of a nuisance. This is the app inside your phone where you'd normally just be opening it up. It's an app, and you would pull up this type of information. When you push this button here, you go into your settings as far as when it would save, how often it would delete the old calls, and what formats and things like that you want it in. So the workaround, I've been able to achieve all of this. The caller ID, I'm not too sure on, but we'll find out on that one. But I've been able to achieve where it records a call, records a log, the calls are then saved up to Dropbox, and it's automatically done, and it automatically records without anybody needing to do anything. So if you're driving on the road and you take a call, they give you some piece of information that you need to pull up 4 jobs later and know exactly what they said, like a code for a safe they want or something like that, or a code to get into the building. You can do that. It's not as pretty and fancy as this app, but it's very close to it. All right, so let's see how we're going to do it. All right, so basically this is the Android forums where they're going through, you know, people are all wanting to know how do you get like call recording on that actually works without having to activate it and all the rest. One of the files a couple of the things you're going to need here before we get started is, one, you're going to need your phone. 2, you're going to need this auto sync file. This is to allow the captured files to be automatically downloaded to the Dropbox or OneDrive, wherever you want to store them. This is handy because then they're not only stored on the phone, they're also stored on the cloud. If you're in an employee type situation and you want all the calls to be recorded so you know what's going on, you don't want them to be tampered with, you can use this and actually lock it down with a PIN number. So as soon as a call comes in, it basically sends it up to the cloud, and this file backup thing here is what does it, and it can be locked down so that, you know, you can even lock it with your fingerprint, your face, or a PIN number, and then it'll automatically, after the call's done, send that call up to the cloud, which can be a one-way download or a two-way sync. So if you delete on the phone, you can delete on the cloud, or you can have a one-way where it just keeps pushing files to the cloud, and that, you know, seems to work quite well. This is a Dropbox, as you can see. Basically, it's just a cloud service that can be operated from, you know, wherever you are. You can just pull up these files. They turn up in an M4A type format, and, you know, they're functional to listen on just about any device. All right, so let's go over to, so you need your phone, and if you're going to be uploading to the cloud, you need that other auto sync program there, right? You just get that for free. Look, it is $14 per year, or sorry, $14 for a lifetime to allow you to upload to your Pacific cloud format, and for $14 was still pretty cheap. Program here, SAMFW tool. I'll leave the link down in the description. What we're going to do is we're running this on a PC, so we're going to get our phone into developer mode. We're going to turn on USB debugging, then we're going to plug it in, and we're going to do this task, MTP change CSC, and I'll tell you which format to change it into, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, so I finally got the new phone booted up. You got to enroll it, put all your accounts in. It takes forever. Anyway, let's go to the Google Play Store. Accept. Okay, now we're going to go for a search, and we're going to go for Auto SYNC. Okay, so it is this one. So let's install that. Continue. Okay, skip. Okay, while that's downloading, it's already downloading. Okay, now we have to go to the computer. All right, so let's just have a look at this phone now quickly. So if I want to make a call now, let's say I want to call, okay, and you can see what's coming up on the screen. Okay, so there's no sort of call recording there at all. All the other apps as well won't get you anywhere. So let's just get rid of that. Go to settings. Okay, no settings. Missions. Nothing. Alright, so we have to do a couple of tricky steps now. Let's go across to, where's settings? Scroll down settings, and we will go to, right down the bottom, about this phone. Oops, sorry. Software, I think. Nope, not software. About this phone, apps, software. I'm pretty sure it's in software. No, it's not. About this phone. Okay, about this phone, software information, build number. Build number, tap this 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Developer node is now enabled. Cool. Go back. And now we have to go back one more time. Now we go down the bottom here to developer mode. And then we have to scroll to USB debugging. Debug the USB. Boom. Okay. Okay. Now we're ready. So what we'll do is I will plug this in like this. USB-C. Bing. Okay. Okay. Here's the tricky bit. NTP. This one here. We're going to go down and change CSC. Click that. Down here it's going to ask, do you allow? Yes. Allow, yes. It's taking a little while. Checking ADB connection, reading this. Okay, so we've got this little pop-up. This is right. Now the one you want to change it to is THL. THL. And then click on change. Okay, watch the screen. Nothing's happening up there. Too much reflection. You see that? Alright, it's turned off. Now we just wait for it to boot up. Everything's still connected. Alright. Okay, we'll allow that, that's fine. We don't really need the USB cable from this point on, so we can just unplug that. Okay, so now we're in, we've got network back. We're going to go to settings. Settings. Sorry, no, we don't do that. We go down to call. Call. And then we go to settings with the 3 button at the top. Settings. Look. See it? Call recorder. This one right here. Okay. Auto record calls. Yes. On. That's the secret sauce right there. All calls. Okay. Recorded calls. Delete old recorded calls. So we've got to recorded calls, no recorded calls. Okay. That is good. Now, what we need to do is see where those recorded calls are turning up from. So what I'll do is I will make a call from this number and then see where it turns up. And you can see the little icon here.
Hello, Locksmith.
Oh, that's right, I'll call you back. Okay, so now we've just made a call. So we go to settings and we go to record calls, recorded calls, and now you can see here, and we will just play it on, I guess voice recorder should be okay. Yeah, okay. This one's, we don't have a media application in here.
Hello, Locksmith.
Oh, that's right, I'll call you back.
So you can see it's working on both sides. The phone number is displayed. That's half of the problem now. What I want to do is I can go in here and go in internal storage and tell it where to record to as well. That's the next big thing. What I'd like it to do is record on the SD card so it doesn't chop the phone up. So drive permissions, my files, nope. Settings. The other thing you can do as well is you can go to the folder, like this one here, see this? Go like this, and then we can go to move, and then we can tell it where we want to move it. Move here. No, we don't want to move it here. We want to move it to internal. We want to go, okay, there's no SD card in here. That's why I can't select it. Okay, that's okay for now. We found out where our calls are. Let's go back here, settings, record calls, recorded calls, and then we can simply make a shortcut to this. So we go recorded calls. So if I was to hold this down like this, no, okay, now it's selected, and then I could go more, copy to clipboard, open you, add to home screen, bang. Okay, are we adding a call or are we adding the whole thing? Let's see. Okay, I think we added the whole. Okay, we want to add this one. Okay, more, add to home screen. So now we're adding the folder to the home screen. Okay, have a look now. You go up the top here, so we'll get rid of this one. That was a mistake. Remove. So now this button, every time that I get a call, I can just go here and here's my calls. Isn't that cool? Now the other program I wanted to show you is if I can bring up the app, where was it that we just installed, and it should be here, and it's not. Where is it? That's interesting. Okay, so that was auto sync. Auto sync for Google Drive? No, unless you're using Google Drive. We want this one. We'll go open. So this program will allow you to sync up that folder to your cloud automatically, even with locking it as well. So basically, if you give this phone to someone and they make a phone call on it, or it receives a phone call, that phone call is going to make it to your Dropbox recorded without them being able to mess around with it. Plus, they're going to be able to access the call on the front of the phone from that folder that I just showed you. So that means that if they need to replay a call, they can. But there'll always be a copy. Okay, so now I just want to connect to cloud storage. I can't do all this on camera because you'll see all my passwords, but you just choose whichever cloud service you're using, and then you can basically select whichever folder you want, and that was the folder that we selected just before, and then that has an option of two-way sync or one-way sync. One-way sync, it just dumps it in the cloud. Two-way sync, you delete it on the phone, it'll delete it on the cloud. So anyway, that's now recording. Android 14 now has the record function very similar to what my old Android 7 did. The only one thing that I haven't got working quite yet is automatically deleting after 7 days. It will still require us to go into this folder right here and then select all just by holding it down, and you select all up the top, and then you just basically hit delete down the bottom. But doing that once a week is no big deal. I mean, considering that we now have call recording working back on an Android, anything, an Android 14, which is the latest. So this technology or this hack should work for quite some time. All right, if you've enjoyed that video or you've got any other comments or anything else to put it in, just leave it down in the description. If you've got issues with your phone and you've bricked it or you've cooked your phone, yeah, that's not my issue. Don't worry, don't let me know. I have no other advice for Android phones, so don't ask me any other questions. And also on top of that, before you do all of this, if it's your phone that you've got all your stuff on, back it all up first. Don't just plug in and hope for the best, because if something does go wrong or you push a wrong setting, you can cook it. This program here is very good, but use it at your own will. This is a brand new phone, so I'm not losing any data on it. And also, I've got another phone which I can download to it. So if it went wrong, I just need to reflash this and then try again. If you're doing it on an existing phone, back up, back up, back up. and then try it. Okay, so Android 14 call recorder working with caller ID. You can have a look at that when I play it.